Welcome to Hometown Happenings. I'm Carol McCarthy here with Dr. Mitch Goldstein, and he is here today to talk about a foundation that he has started and tell us a little bit about why he started it and what's progressing with the foundation and how folks can contribute and help the foundation along.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thanks. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, we're here to talk about the JTG Foundation. Tell us a little bit about what JTG stands for and how it all started.
Okay. Well, let me first tell you a little bit about the JTG stands for Just to Give. So it's a concept that I came up with a couple of years ago, and the conception of this idea started a few years back. I'm originally from Minneapolis. I've been in DL now for about 17 years, so time flies by.
Mm-hmm.
Do a lot of traveling back and forth. And in so doing, would stop at gas stations, fill up with gas, and notice the signs for benefits for people who have had unfortunate situations happen in their lives, such as a loss of a home in a fire. Somebody who's had medical conditions and they have to miss work. And I always gave money to those situations, but felt like I just wanted to give a little bit more. And as I thought about things and kept on giving money and donating, I finally came up with this idea that we start a nonprofit to help finance those people who come across unfortunate situations. That's kind of the first tier of this idea. And then the second tier, about the same time, I was doing something that was on my bucket list of life things to do, and I've always been a songwriter, even since I was 15, 16, played guitar, wrote music, and I always wanted to put it on a CD. So at that time, I started putting my music on a CD, which was really exciting. And for anybody who's laying down tracks and making a CD, whether you're 25, 35, 45, it's a really exciting thing, and you can't help but think, okay, it's just this one song that's going to make it big and provide a lot of money. And so friends of mine and I were talking, we joked, and we go, what would we do if we got millions of dollars? And I really didn't need millions of dollars. And then it just kind of clicked that I thought, well, I put all that money that I get from the CDs and concerts and things like that, and put it right back into the foundation, and that way financially support the nonprofit. So it was a great idea, but then the reality kind of came in, and the way I describe it is people usually come up with a bucket list for a couple different reasons. One is that they want to do something that is on their wish list of things to do. And the second thing is that, well, you're doing a bucket list because, well, you're getting a little bit older. And so the reality is that I just wouldn't be able to, go off and do all those fun things. And so then I was a little frustrated because then I had this great idea to finance this nonprofit. And so I didn't want to have a nonprofit where I would send out letters quarterly to people and ask for money continuously. And so I wanted to come up with this idea where I would maybe do a private enterprise, some private business, and take all that money, all the profit, and put it back into the foundation. And after thinking about it a lot, I thought that perhaps a restaurant would be a great idea. And in fact, somebody quoted me last week and saying that in 2015, people went out to eat more than they ate at home. So I kind of went with that idea, and so we're at the point where we like to do a restaurant in a bigger community, bagel shops in smaller communities like the size like Alexandria, DL, Fergus Falls, and by taking 100% of the profit and putting it into back into the nonprofit. And once we establish that, the idea is to take 60% of the money, distribute it to people who will need it, and 40% will be reinvested in another facility, another restaurant or bagel shop in a different community, so we can help them out.
Okay, well, that sounds very interesting, and we're going to learn some more about how people get involved and who it's going to help exactly, and more as Hometown Happenings continues. Welcome back to Hometown Happenings, here with Dr. Mitch Goldstein, a surgeon here in Detroit Lakes, starting up a foundation just to give. And you told us a little bit about the inspiration to do this in the first half, and now where are you at with this?
We're at the point where we're just like in a capital campaign time zone and trying to raise the money for a restaurant. But let me first tell you a little bit about just the foundation. The purpose of Just to Give is to give back to people who have unfortunate situations happen in their life, and whether it's, like I said earlier, unfortunate situation like some sort of medical condition where mother and father both have to take time off of work and are unable to pay bills. And it's not so much the medical bills, because usually the insurance company will take care of that. It's more the bills where you're trying to make your payments in your mortgage and things like that. And so we're going to try to focus in on helping those people out. Where we're at right now is it's an organization. It is a 501c3 establishment, and we have a team. We have a lawyer. We have an architect. We have an accountant. We have a general manager for the restaurant, who is a gentleman who's actually opened up a couple different restaurants, and has a restaurant himself in Wadena, and has been I've been very fortunate to come across him, and he's been very helpful. And so we're at the point where the architect, we're in phase 1 of our plans for the first restaurant, and the architect is setting that up, and I'm very excited for that. The other thing where we're at now is we just need to raise the money, the capital, to get the first restaurant built. And the idea is that we're not just raising money, it's not an investment, it's still tax-deductible dollars. The money that's donated to help us build this restaurant is still tax-deductible dollars going into the nonprofit. We're going to choose initially to take that money, build these establishments, and then all the 100% profit will go back into the nonprofit and be distributed to people who need it. Okay,
so how do people donate?
So, awesome question. There's a couple of different ways of going about it. If you want to take a peek at our website and get a little bit more information on the whole organization, it's thejtgfoundation.org, and they can go on there. You can mail in a check. There's a P.O. box, as well as there's a GoFundMe page, and those are the two most common ways that people are donating money right now.
Okay, very good. And so do you have a goal to raise the money to start building once you hit a certain goal?
Yep. The architect plans for right now for the building, the size that we have is about $3-4 million for the restaurant. Fortunately, it's a lot less for a bagel shop, which would be about $500,000. So we'd like to work with the restaurant first because it's a higher volume, and get a little bit more money, and then we could have a little more money to work with. So somebody asked me a while back what our goal was financially, where we want to be, and the architect's plan for all 3 phases is about 1.5 years. So as soon as we can get some money to work with, then we'll be moving along.
Okay. And how soon can people in need apply? Who is able to apply to the foundation?
I have given lots of money away, but we're at a point where we're just kind of holding off on that right now, and so we can try to save to get this whole thing going. I have had some unfortunate situations I've come across with people, and I have given them some money, but initially that's what we did. Eventually, though, we want to give up to $5,000 per family. There will be an application form that we actually have put together, but it's not on the website because we just don't have the funding to do that quite yet. Okay. But there's a criteria form, an application form that will be online, and once we get going with this.
Okay, well, this is very interesting and a great cause, and I wish you well in your endeavors.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You bet. And thanks, Dr. Mitch Goldstein, and that's Hometown Happenings for TV3. I'm Carol McCarthy.